Hi guys, we're back in the kitchen, and today we are, as promised, tackling dill pickle soup. So I think it would help if you were a lover of dill pickles to try this recipe. Everyone in our house is wild over dill pickles, so that's a step in the right direction. But the recipe, which actually comes from www.noblepig.com, has indicated that even if you are not a confirmed pickle lover, this recipe may just change your mind. Anyway, I hope it will change your mind because there are a lot of ingredients and a lot of prep involved in this. So let's get started and I will show you how we're going to make this dill pickle soup. Okay, like I said, lots of ingredients here. We're going to start over here though. So in our pot, we have 5.5 cups of chicken stock. I just use boxed chicken stock for today. Moving over here, and this is not necessarily in the order that we will be adding these ingredients to the pan, but we've got a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. We've got a 1/4 cup of water, 1/2 cup of butter that I've just cubed up. We have 2 cups of finely chopped carrots. We have 1 cup of, it's supposed to be sour cream, but I found myself lacking sour cream, but I did have fat-free Greek yogurt, so we're going to substitute that and hopefully that'll be okay. We have 1 3/4 pounds of quartered peeled potatoes, which amounts to about 4 potatoes the size of a tennis ball. 4 potatoes the size of a tennis ball, peeled and quartered. We have 1 cup of chopped dill pickles here. That's going to go in the soup. Then we've got extra pickles that I sliced for garnish. Okay. Over here we have 2 cups of pickle juice. And what else am I missing? Oh yes, our pepper and our cayenne. Now I will say the recipe also calls for, let me see here, a teaspoon and a half, I think. Where are we? 1.5 teaspoons of Old Bay seasoning. As luck would have it, I did not have Old Bay, but I did have just about everything that goes into Old Bay. So we're going to start there. I'm going to show you how to make Old Bay seasoning mix if you do not happen to have it yourself. Okay, so stay tuned. Okay guys, so I realize I'm a headless torso here again, probably just a talking hand at this point, but Old Bay seasoning. I first had it when I was in New Orleans. I took a cooking class down there, and it figures quite prominently when they're boiling crawfish and crabs and other seafood. They quite often will use Old Bay in the water, and it's quite a flavorful, zesty kind of heat packing blend of spices and seasonings. So because I didn't have any here, but I do think you can get it up here in the grocery store, I decided to make my own. So I looked up a few recipes and settled on one that I had the majority of the ingredients for. The only thing I am lacking was a pinch of ground nutmeg. I know I used the last of my nutmeg just before Christmas when I was making my famous gingerbread cookies, so I knew I wouldn't have that, but I have everything else, so I figure that's a pretty good ratio. So we're going to start 2 tablespoons celery salt, 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, a pinch, just the tiniest bit of dried mustard. This is where your pinch of ground nutmeg would come in, which I didn't have. A pinch of ground cinnamon. Okay, we have a pinch of ground cardamom. A pinch of ground allspice. A pinch of cloves. And a pinch of ground ginger. So I think I'll just keep one of those little cups because we're going to need one. But we're just going to give our spice mixture, our Old Bay seasoning mixture, a mix. And then we're going to put it over with the rest of the ingredients. We're going to need about, I think they said 1.5 teaspoons. Okay. Okay guys, so hopefully I'm not a headless torso again, but anyway, we're about ready to start our soup. So the first thing the recipe says is it wants us to add our potatoes and our carrots to our broth and then bring those to a boil and cook until the potatoes are tender. So probably about 8 minutes after it's come to a boil. It doesn't say to bring it to a boil and then add your stuff. It says to put your stuff in right now. So we're gonna do that. Get our heat going here. Go. Our 2 cups of carrots, finely chopped. And our quartered potatoes. 1 1/3 pounds, I believe it was. Okay, so I'm going to throw a lid on that. We're going to get it up to a boil. We're going to boil it until they're fork tender. See how long it takes. I'm thinking maybe 8 to 10 minutes. We'll see. And then we'll be back with you to go on with the rest of the recipe. Okay guys, so it's been about 9 minutes. Our potatoes, carrots, and butter. I think I forgot to say that before we went to the break. But the butter went into the pot in the very beginning too with everything. Everything's been boiling and it's looking really good. Let me take the lid off here. I'll bring you over so you can have a look. So it's looking good. I have tested our potatoes. They are fork tender. So at this point, what it wants us to do is put the chopped dill pickles into the mix here and just continue boiling away. Interesting. Okay, then in another bowl, it wants us to make a paste out of our sour cream, or in our case, our Greek yogurt. Didn't have sour cream, so we're using Greek yogurt. That's fine, should be pretty much interchangeable. So sour cream, the 1/4 cup of water, and the 1/2 cup of flour. So this shall be interesting. Just gonna add it little bits at a time and whisk it until it gets well combined. It's right off the hop, it's starting to look like a little bit like cottage cheese because there are some lumps from the flour. Maybe I'll switch to a whisk. Oh, that's better. Whoops. Okay guys, sorry about that. Porch delivery from my parents of some really nice sewn face masks from her cousin in the States and some candy for my kid.
Yeah. I needed it.
Okay. All right. So we've got our paste made here, and actually it doesn't look as goopy as I thought. I mean, it is really thick. I don't know if you can see that. Really thick, but not bad. And what it wants us to do now is to 2 tablespoons at a time vigorously whisk the paste into the soup. And it says, don't worry if you break up some potatoes or if there's like little balls that look like flour floating on the surface, because between the whisking, it will all get dissolved. So here's about 2 tablespoons worth. We shall whisk it in and see. Whisking vigorously. And of course the flour is going to thicken everything. And yep, we're seeing some of those little balls of flour, dough essentially. It's almost like a dough forming on the top. Okay, and it is starting to thicken. I'm going to keep at it here. I'm going to scrape my bowl down so I get all of it. And just keep going a couple tablespoons at a time. Actually, the more I whisk this stuff in here, oh my gosh, the better this is looking. It's looking almost more like a cream of potato soup now, but I'm very curious to taste it because we still have to add our pickle juice and our Old Bay seasoning, which is next. It's getting very thick now, very thick and very hearty. I could see how this would be, whoops, a real, I'm going to turn the heat back just a hair because it is pretty thick. I do not want this burning at this point. Not so much work. And there is the last of our flour, sour cream, water mixture going in. Wow, that is really thick. I was wondering if it was gonna get this thick, and now I know why, because now we add our pickle juice. A little bit here. Oh my gosh. 2 cups, 2 full cups of pickle juice. And I'm still whisking. And just like the recipe said, there's really not much in the way of those little flour balls, per se, floating on the top of the soup. Because that pickle juice was cold, I'm turning the heat back up now, and I'm standing right over this. I'm going to whisk it because we don't want it to burn. All right.
It's going to taste good, by the way.
I think it is going to taste good, Andrew. And then the only thing we have else to add is our seasoning here. That's our 1.5 teaspoons of our homemade Old Bay. Oh wow, does that ever smell good? Okay, and then it says pepper and cayenne to taste. So let's give it a taste and see where we're at. Moment of truth. Guys, winner chicken dinner. I honestly wasn't sure it could be that good. Andrew, would you like to come and give a taste test?
Oh, wait a bit.
You're gonna wait. You're gonna have it for supper. Yeah, we are not having this right now. Right now, it's only about 5 to 1. We are not having this right now for lunch. This is actually our supper. We're gonna have a nice salad and a bowl of this. My goodness, though, is that ever delicious? It is. Let me get another spoon. I'm gonna do another little quick taste and see if I can sort of break down the flavor for you. First, let me give you a visual on what it looks like, though, because it does look quite delicious. There we have it. Looks very much like a potato soup, right? Does not taste like potato soup. Definitely can taste the dill. Okay, here we go. Hot, hot, hot. You can taste the dill, but it's not overwhelming. It's also got enough salt. I didn't add any extra salt. I don't think you'd want to add extra salt. To me, it's perfect. It's not too salty. The dill is not overwhelming. You can taste the butter, interestingly enough. You can really taste that buttery, and it's kind of creamy. The potatoes, I think, have all but dissolved. The carrots are still in nice little chunks. So in a bowl, it's going to look really nice with a big piece of crusty bread or a salad or a bun or something. This is going to be delicious. So, wow, I'm pleasantly surprised. Really was not sure what we were getting into, and then with all that extra prep and stuff, I was thinking, please don't let this end up being a hot mess. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. We will be back tonight for a final sort of taste test, and Andrew can weigh in because I'm very curious to hear what he has to say. We will serve it up with some additional pickles on top, and we'll see what he has to say. But I'm really pleased. I think it's awesome. So thanks for joining me, and we'll be back at supper time. Okay, so we're here with Andrew, who's about to give the soup the official taste test for supper. You can see he's topped his with some sliced pickles, but now he's going to dive in and he's going to give us his honest opinion.
You can taste some cheese, which I'm pretty sure there isn't cheese in it.
There's no cheese in that soup. It's thick because there's flour in it to thicken it up.
You can't really taste the original dill pickles that are in it.
No, so it's not an overpowering dill taste, but is it pleasant?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's your overall score out of 10?
9.5.
9.5 out of 10. So this is a mom should make again sometime soup.
Yep.
Okay, interesting. Now it's my turn. So there's how it looks. Looks nice in the bowl. It is not, it's thick, but it's not like wallpaper paste thick, which is nice. Okay, well, it smells delicious, but again, like Andrew said, it doesn't smell like dill per se. It doesn't really taste like dill either. I mean, it's delicious, but it's not, you don't bite into it and go, oh my gosh, that's pickle. And he's right, even the pickles that are in it have kind of mellowed down as they've cooked. So I'm going to give this one a solid 8.5 out of 10. I would make this again for sure. And actually, you know, Andrew mentioned cheese. It probably would be really good with some cheese in it. So maybe that's something we'll try for next time. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed coming into my kitchen and cooking with me today. And have a good long weekend. And we'll see you next week. Bye now.